Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. My name is AJ. I'm going to be talking about England today. So as you know, England played in the Euro Cup final in 2020 just a few days ago in Wembley. And the whole event was marred by racism, with thugs, with hooligans, and it really showed England in a bad light. Or maybe it showed England for who they are, exactly who they are, just racist thugs really. And I want to talk about all the things that's happened, and I also want to talk about Boris Johnson and why he has mainly caused this. And the buck stops at the top really. If you're a racist prime minister, then your population and the people that follow you, they're going to be racist as well. So before I start, guys, I wanted to request you subscribe to the channel. Do what you can to help promote it, whether sharing, liking, commenting, help with the algorithm. And if you really like the video, if you really like my content, then consider donating and joining my Patreon, or donating and buy me a coffee or something. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the show. So over the weekend, guys, England played in cup final for Euro 2020 against Italy, and they lost. And they lost on penalties, and the three guys, ironically, who missed the penalties were black. So obviously England fans were not happy, and they started giving them all sorts of racial abuse. There was Twitter was basically covered with people called and blacks, monkeys, and all sorts of names out of the book. And it wasn't just a few guys. We're talking about over 100,000 tweets Twitter had to remove, and there's probably still more, to be honest. So there was definitely a lot of tweets, not only on Twitter but on Instagram as well, Facebook, things like that. And you ask yourself, no wonder these social media platforms are banned in China, because seriously, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram have been letting these racists get away for it for years. And still to this day, I have Instagram and I have Twitter. I still see a lot of anti-Asian racism, but that's all ignored, guys. It's completely ignored. When you're racist against the Chinese or an Asian, people just tend to ignore it. But when you're racist against a black guy or somebody black, the whole world seems to take notice. It's all over the papers. It's all over the media. People are asking for action. But when this happens to an Asian guy, nothing. No media articles will pick it up. Nobody will say anything. And there's more anti-Asian, racism out there than anti-blacks. But obviously, if you're going to let these people get away with anti-Asian racism, they're obviously going to stay racist, and they're going to be racist to any race really, whether it's Islam, whether it's to blacks, whether it's to Asians. So let's go through a few more articles, shall we? So you can see here, racism and thuggery by minority of England fans tarnished the tournament. It says, can you see here, by minority? It's not a minority. We're talking about over 100,000 tweets, and there were millions and millions of England fans causing trouble all over UK. And look at the aftermath they've caused. I will show you some more videos after this, but look at some of the aftermath. It completely destroyed the country with rubbish, with all sorts of stuff. I'll show you guys. So you can see here, this article, it says racism in England has got worse over the last 5 years. Can you see a coincidence, guys? Can you see a resemblance here? It says here, got worse over the last 5 years. So why is that? Is it because Trump has started it exactly 5 years ago? Because Trump started all this anti-Asian bashing and started causing the trade war. He got all these anti-Chinese people on the bandwagon, and England pretty much joined them. And England were pretty much, Boris Johnson, yeah, we're with you. We hate the Chinese as well. We'll follow whatever you want. And these people have been getting away with it for years now, for the last 4 or 5 years, especially with Trump calling the virus the China virus, and the way he used to call China. It's, it's quite racist the way he described China, and then Boris joined in, and the whole world pretty much joined in. The whole West, basically bashing Chinese people, Asian people. And then crimes against Chinese and Asians just got worse and worse over the years, and it's just not covered over the media enough. And every day there's Chinese people or Asian people just getting beaten up in the streets or abused in UK, and it's not covered because it's it happens so many times. It's like, yes, it's like it's happened again. The media just suddenly just stops covering it, really. So you're just letting these racists get away with it. And if you let these racists get away with it, this is what happens. England becomes a racist culture. So let's have a look at some more of this. So I wanted to also talk about, look at this, guys. I also wanted to talk about the crowds as well. The stadium itself holds over 90,000 people, but there was hundreds of thousands of people outside the stadiums watching it on big screens. But there was also an incident where about thousands of England supporters just barged into the stadium, and they barged in, and all these families that bought tickets inside the stadium, all these families with seats, all the kids were being pushed out the seats, and these thugs were just sitting there instead of the kids, and they were pushing these police out the way, stewards out the way. They pretty much broke in for free. I'll show you some footage later on. It's absolutely thuggery, guys. Proper hooliganism. So let's go over some of the stuff that you might get shocked by seeing some of this, by the way. So you can see here on Snapchat there were people sending these kind of messages out. These lost us the Euros. So Monday the 12th July is to get 25 points. Do you see what I mean? The kind of racism out in England. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'll show you some footage and videos, and also this is some of the aftermath that is the kind of mess that all of this has caused. And you can see, guys, just I feel sorry for the cleaners who have to clean up all of UK. The whole of UK was just covered with filth and rubbish. It was absolutely disgusting. And they didn't even win the tournament. Imagine if they had won. So this is a video I wanted to show you. Basically, these England thugs were pretty much beating up anyone they can see. They were just starting a fight with them, and you can see. Let's carry on watching this, shall we? They were beating children. They were beating anybody who's black or Asian. They would kick them in the head. Anyone coming through those gates. So you'll see, guys. Watch. I'll show you. You can see it's absolutely thuggery, absolute hooliganism. This is what England's turned to, and this is what happens when you ignore racism, and if you let these people get away with it. I mean, look at this Asian guy here. He's going to start getting his head bashed in because he's obviously not white. He's an Asian. You can see he's just getting his head bashed. He's just trying to get through. That's all. He's not causing any trouble. He's just trying to get through. You can see, guys. So let's have a look at some more. This is people trying to beat up a black guy for no reason because black guys have missed the penalties, so they're starting to pick on black guys. Look at this. You can see how they've been barging into the stadium. have a look at a few more. You can see here. And this is some of the aftermath of the streets of London. You can see the amount of rubbish, just filth. Imagine having to clean all this up. Probably would have cost the probably would have cost the government millions and millions, because you know, this is so much like filth. Let's have a look at this one, shall we? The amount of rubbish and they're doing, and again guys, no social distancing, no nothing. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people watching it in the stadium and around the stadium, but then think about all the millions of people watching it around pubs and bars around across the UK, across the streets. There were millions and millions in the streets, millions. No COVID restrictions. And guess what? The variant, the Indian variant, the Delta variant, is going up. You know, every week there's more and more cases. So we're not out of the woods yet, guys. And yet these guys are just doing what they want. It's absolutely ridiculous. So let's go over some of these tweets here. So this is exactly what they mean. If they win, they are English. If they lose, they're pretty much Africans, or they call them monkeys. So you can see some of these tweets here. I don't know if they've deleted them, but you can see here. You can see all of these people on Instagram commenting with monkey signs. You can see all of these messages here. You can see that. Oh, you can't see it now, it's too small. But look. That people have been sending. But don't forget guys, this is directed at black people, but like I said, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I see so much anti-Asian hate, so much anti-Asian racism, but that's all just ignored. The media's not picking that up. They only pick up stuff that's against black people. So black people are quite lucky, to be honest. Whenever there's any racism against black people, the whole world seems to stand up. But whenever there's racism against Asians, nobody seems to stand up. Seriously, where is the anti-Asian, media outlets? Where is the anti-Asian demonstrations? I think it's just hypocritical, guys. I mean, obviously, racism, it just shouldn't be any racism, whether it's blacks, Asians, Islam. Shouldn't be any racism against any race. Racism just should not be tolerated with any race. Not ignored on one race, but you take action on another race. It just makes no sense. So you can see, guys, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So let's go through a few more. You can see some of these tweets with monkey signs. And I want to show you this guy as well. You can see he went to the England match. He says he got called a Paki and got into a fight because I'm brown and because we lost. So he got beaten up because he's obviously non-English. I think this.
We got kicked out the pub because we were black. They actually said, "Get out, you fucking blackies, bro." They called us nignogs. They called us cotton pickers.
Did you hear that, guys? Because after that match, they were just attacking black girls, black boys, and these are
we got kicked out the pub because we were black. They actually said, "Get out, you fucking blackies, bro." They called us nignogs. They called us cotton pickers. We got kicked out.
You can see, guys, and you can see here some of the anti-Asian guys that get beaten up as well. And this has got worse since COVID, and this has got worse since Trump started his anti-Asian trade war and calling it the China virus. You know, the people are just so stupid around the world. Seriously stupid. And no, they're not just attacking Chinese, they're attacking any Asian looking people, whether you're Korean, whether you're Malaysian, Japanese, they don't care. They'll beat the crap out of you. Let's look at a few more videos, guys, and then we'll go to the summary.
What are you doing? I'm going to step into ban zone. Jokers, man. I mean, that girl broke her wrist.
Oh, they've made a terrible decision.
Yeah, people are just barging through. You can see here, look, people are just barging through, getting in without any tickets. So where are the police? Seriously, where the hell are the police? In a big important match like this, where the hell are the police? Seriously. Okay, let's see a few more. See here. Proud Britain. Look at this guy kicking whoever comes through. Is he him? Bloody hell, even the stewards are bloody thugs. Look at him, look at this guy.
His family gained some sort of closure.
Thinks it's Jackie Chan, the British Jackie Chan.
We are thinking of people's family and friends on this anniversary, and we may hopeful that such a milestone may generate some bit of information that may progress the investigation.
That's losing their shoes, they're not.
Let's watch another one. It's like watching a zombie apocalypse or something. Look at these bunch of zombies running up there looking for blood.
And Mr. Speaker, what we're doing now is following the racist abuse that.
Look at this guy. Look at this one, guys. Look how creative they are. They're using the barrier gates as ladders. Who would have thought England supporters being using their heads for a change, being a bit creative. So as you can see, guys, here the World Health Organization is pretty much in horror looking at all the scenes around England. Not only have you got hundreds and thousands of people in the stadiums and outside the stadium, you got millions of people in pubs, in mass gatherings all over UK, in bars, they're pretty much everywhere. It caused so much mayhem, millions. And don't forget, guys, they're taking this COVID very lightly. This reminds me of like the Kumbh Mela that India had, where they had all these mass gatherings, and suddenly they got hit by a second wave, which was crazy. Also, don't forget, guys, that England was one of the first countries in Europe that started vaccinating its people way back in the start of the year. And a lot of people don't realize this, but vaccinations only last you for a set number of time. So you'll be vaccinated for maybe 6 months or even a year, depends whether you've taken a second dose or not. But those on the first dose, they're only probably gonna last 6 months. You're gonna be vaccinated for about 6 months, and the 6 months is pretty much up for a lot of people around this time. So every week we're seeing cases going up, all these new variants, this Indian variant and all these other variants coming up. And so we could be seeing a huge third wave that if we're not very careful. And Boris Johnson is pretty much saying next week is going to be Freedom Day on July 19th, where you can pretty much go anywhere without mask and you can do whatever you want. All the restrictions are off, and it's quite a big danger because every week we're getting new cases and stuff. All right, people are not dying, mainly down to the vaccine, but pretty soon in the next few months, when the vaccine's effectiveness starts running out, I can see huge issues coming up with a lot of deaths and stuff. I mean, I hope it's not the case, but there is still a big risk for that. So let's get onto this guy now. So Boris Johnson said today, racist trolls will be banned from football matches, says Boris Johnson. I mean, can you believe this shit? Are you having a laugh? Seriously, what kind of drugs is this guy on? He's gonna ban racist thugs from football matches. Has he seen what happened to the finals? There were millions and millions of hooligans out in the streets causing trouble, beating up blacks and Asians, causing a mess, causing devastation. There were millions of them out in the streets. Do you think they care whether they're gonna be in a football match or not? Seriously, are you having a laugh? And did you see what was happening outside the football matches? There was people barging their way into the stadiums without a ticket. So how are you going to stop that? And how are you going to stop all these thugs in the street beating up Asian people? And how are you going to stop all these online thugs which are putting out racist stuff on Twitter, on Instagram? How are you going to stop them? Do you think they care if they're going to be in the football matches or not? They have more fun going out there being racist. They don't care if they're going to be in a football match or not. They have more fun beating up Asians, blacks, giving people racial abuse online or whatever. And this idiot thinks all racists are football supporters and all racists care about football, whether they're going to be in a match or not. First of all, a lot of these racists can't even afford a football ticket. These Wembley tickets for the final, they were going from £2,000 to £8,000. Do you think they're going to pay that much? They'd rather be out in the streets causing trouble, or they'd rather be online giving out racial abuse. He's assuming all racists are football supporters. That's not the case. Racists are racists. You need to punish them with law. You need to put them to jail. Throw away the key. That's what you need to do, mate. Because he's racist himself, he doesn't know what to do, how to handle other racists. He's such an idiot. Seriously, you think that's going to stop racism? You think that's going to stop people from being racist? He is such an idiot. Our Prime Minister is probably the most racist Prime Minister we've ever had. He's started Islamophobia. Islamophobic incidents rose 375% after Boris Johnson compared Muslim women to letterboxes. And you have all these footballers and all these celebrities are calling him out now. They're saying, we have such a racist Prime Minister, it's breeding more racism in the community in England because he's so racist himself. And people are calling him out on this shit. And that's where it starts from. If your Prime Minister is racist, your country's going to be racist. And if you let people get away with racism, people are going to continue being racist. And they're going to keep passing that line, passing the threshold and being more and more racist. If they can get away, like a thief, if a thief keeps getting away with stealing candy, he's going to move on to stealing bigger things. That's how racism is. You start with, if you can get away with this, calling someone a Paki, they're going to take the next levels. They're going to start beating up Pakis. That's how it works here. He has no clue whatsoever, has no clue. Racism starts at the top from the Prime Minister. And he needs to, kick it at the root. And it starts from the top. This guy needs to go. Or needs to sort himself out. All of this Islamophobia he started, all of this anti-Asian stuff he started, calling calling out China, calling out all this forced labor bullshit, calling out on all these Uyghur Muslims being held in concentration camps, these fake stories. Seriously, he's just looking at excuses to take the pressure off himself. So don't you think all of this is human rights? Being racially abused in England, isn't that a human right? If you're going out in the streets and you get abused because of your colour or your race, and you get beaten up, isn't that a form of human rights? You need to sort your own country out, mate, before looking at others, before looking at China, before blaming China for their human rights. Why don't you look at your own human rights? Racism is a big issue in UK, and it's every human rights in UK to go out and not feel threatened, not feel bullied by racists. Whether you're black, Asian, any race, any religion, that's a form of human rights, and it still exists, and it's a shame that it still exists in this day and age, in the 21st century. But it exists, clearly exists. You can see everything that's happening around you. And that's a form of human rights, and that's, you need to sort that out, mate. Instead of blaming other countries for your own failure. You're a failure, Boris. You're an absolute failure. You failed in controlling this society. You've turned this England into the most racist country in Europe, or even the world. People are ashamed of English. Seriously, the Italians are absolutely disgusted. UEFA's absolutely disgusted. The whole of Europe is absolutely disgusted by England's behaviour, and that's down to you, Boris. It's all down to you. And now if this third wave comes along in England and people start dying in thousands, that's also going to be down to you as well. Seriously, you are such a failure. And what are you good at? You're only good at, blaming other countries for it. Blaming China. This is not China's fault. This is all your fault. You need to start looking at yourself and start fixing issues in England. Start fixing all these human rights issues in England first. And stop being such a racist. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever you can do to help support the channel. And if you can donate as well, that's also appreciative. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.